So today is Tuesday, December 8th, and today, and mostly just like last night, I was watching a podcast with Colin and Samir, who are like some YouTubers. And one thing that Samir said was that within goals, we shouldn't be like outcome focused, right? We shouldn't always be focused on like the output. But really, there's three parts to the goal. There's the impact, the process, and the outcome. And the outcome should ideally be the byproduct of the process and the impact. And I just thought that was a very interesting definition for goals, and I thought it was very helpful for me as I've been trying to think about how to be thinking about my goals, and as I've been trying to figure out like at what point, like why do I need these certain outcomes? Why do I feel like I need to fulfill my full potential or whatever? So I don't know, just thinking about goals as the impact, the process, and the outcome puts a lot less pressure on needing to do a certain outcome. So yeah, I just kind of want to like talk through this, and hopefully it'll help me and it'll help you try to just have a better mindset about our goals. So there's three parts. So there's impact. So the impact is mostly just the impact on you and the impact on others. So I'm going to take working out as an example because it's a pretty big part of my life. Like I love doing it and I do it almost every day. And I think it's a good example. So if we think about the impact of like working out on yourself, like it has such a great impact, right? It's makes you look better, makes you stronger, and just have better abilities. And it's a good thing that you can be consistent and like disciplined with. And it's just working has just helped me in a lot of different ways. Like I never regret working out. So I feel like it has a very good impact, at least on myself. And then the process, I've built like a system of like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I like work out on those days, and I like have a system for the workouts I'm doing and how many reps and how many sets I'm doing. And that process changes depending on like where I'm at. Like recently I need to be trying new things because I'm kind of like growing out of the equipment that I have available to me. So that process is always changing, but I still have that process and I'm still doing that process. So hopefully, like through doing the process and the impact that has on me, hopefully I can achieve whatever goal that I want to achieve. Now, right now I don't necessarily have like a specific workout goal. I'm kind of just working out or the process of it. But if I had, let's say I had a goal, like let's say I had a specific goal in mind for like a certain exercise, like pull-ups. I want to be able to do 20 pull-ups. So doing the process of like working out 4 or 5 times a week, and the impact it has on me to not only work out, like not only like the impact, the direct impact, but also the indirect impact that it has. Like working out has made me be more mindful of what I'm eating, and I need to be eating more and like eating better foods. So that has an indirect impact because it's causing me to do a different action. So all of those things culminate to just like me, like the outcome. Maybe I have some external outcome that I want to achieve, that ultimately being like a byproduct instead of just the one thing that I'm going towards. I don't know, it's just a very interesting, it kind of relieves the pressure for me when I think about the goal or the outcome as just being a byproduct of the process. Because a lot of times if you do everything right, you won't get what you want. That definitely happens a lot. So sometimes the outcome that you want isn't necessarily the byproduct of what you're doing, but you might have a different outcome that results as a byproduct of the process that you're doing. So ultimately, it's just helpful because it helps you focus on what you can control. Because a lot of goals and outcomes you can't really control. You can just control what you can control. You can control the process. So this definition of like goals helps you control what you can control and only focus on making sure that you're doing the process. But also it just relieves the pressure of like having to focus on this one goal. Now I do think it's good to have goals. I do think it's good to have like these checkpoints, if you will, of things that you want to achieve. But thinking about it as more of a byproduct and kind of just shifting the focus over to the inputs rather than the outputs, over to the process rather than the outcome, is just a much better way of thinking about goals. And this isn't new information. Like I don't talk about this enough, but when you're focusing on goals, you need to be focusing on your habits and your systems and your processes rather than like some external goal, right? So instead of focusing, I need 10,000 subscribers or whatever, instead of focusing on that, I need to be thinking like, I need to be making better videos. Every single day I want to make the video a little bit better, because that's just a better process rather than some random outcome. Because a lot of times we don't know what will get us to that outcome, but we do know like we can often know what is a good process, and we just need to repeat that process with high quality, high quantity, and hopefully it'll get us that outcome that we want as a byproduct. So this was helpful for me in thinking about, if you haven't watched yesterday's video, then definitely go watch that before you continue watching this one, because I'm going to kind of bounce off of that. So I'll have that linked in the description if you want to watch that if you haven't seen it yet. But as I've been thinking about how I have this fear of like not fulfilling my potential, like not fulfilling my potential, like not doing as much as I could do. Fear of missing out on my potential. As I think about that, but then I think about this new definition of goals, it like I said, it relieves the pressure of needing to fulfill that potential, because it's almost like fulfilling the potential is the byproduct, but the impact and the process is what I should really be focusing on. And honestly, just the impact should be our main goal. Like, our impact should be our why. Like, why do you want to work out? Because I want to be healthier. Because working out, like, impact of working out is helping you be healthier. But then maybe a certain outcome would be like, I don't know, like a bodybuilding competition or something like that. I don't know. Or like a certain like exercise that you want to bench however much weight, or like squat however much weight, that kind of thing. So I think the impact should really be your why. Like, why are you doing this thing in the first place? And then the process is what you really need to be focusing on, and then the outcome is just a byproduct. It was just an interesting definition of goals, and I haven't really thought about the outcome of a goal being a byproduct. But I think it's a good way to think about it, because again, it relieves pressure and it helps you focus on what you should be focusing on, which is the process. And I think for me, as I'm trying to figure out, like, do I need to fulfill my whole potential? Do I need to accomplish all these things? I'm focusing too much on the outcomes and on the accomplishments, but I really need to be focusing on the process and the impact. So like, let's say my goal is to, like, it's a dream, I guess, to play softball in college, but that's the outcome. So what is the process? Like, why, first of all, actually, what is the impact? Why do I want to do that? The impact of that would just be playing softball for as long as possible, right? And just playing at a higher level. But there are other ways to do that. Like, it's not like I need it's not like that's the only outcome that includes that impact. And then, like, the only thing I control is my process. So I just need to make sure that, like, I'm doing my process well, and I'm doing it correctly, and I'm doing the right process for the right impact, and hopefully with the right outcome. Yeah. As I try to think more about, like, all these things that I'm, like, trying to fulfill my potential or whatever, and I'm trying to make sure I'm working really hard, I think I need to focus less on the outcomes and more on the process and the impact, and mostly the process, because the process is what I'm doing. The process is what I can control. So yes, there's still the problem of, like, am I doing the process too much, or am I doing it not enough? Just finding that balance within the process. But I do think that today I found out that I'm just focusing too much on the outcome. Focusing too much on these accomplishments that I want to have, but I might not necessarily need to have, because the impact, the certain whys that I want for these certain outcomes can be accomplished through different outcomes. There are multiple byproducts, and it just depends on what process I'm doing, what mindset I have. Like, there's so many different factors, depending on who I am, where I'm coming from, what I'm doing, that can result in different outcomes, different byproducts. So I need to make sure, like, hopefully I will achieve those byproducts, but I need to understand that I might not, and there's different byproducts for different people, even if you do the same process. So I just need to make sure that I'm focusing more on the process rather than the outcome. It's the journey, not the destination. That is something that I constantly need to remind myself of. Focus on the journey and not the destination. Because first of all, it's more fulfilling, and also it just helps you focus on what you can control. Because you can't control your destination unless you're changing your destination. But then I'm not actually going to get to the destination that I want to be at. So just choose your destination, choose point B, and focus on building the bridge between point A to point B. So yeah, focus on the process. That's your takeaway for today. If you found this video interesting, if you found it helpful at all, then definitely hit the like button. If you have any thoughts, if you are also struggling with this, if you have any thoughts, then definitely leave them in the comments down below, because I would love to hear that. If you want to see more, then definitely subscribe, because I'm posting every day talking about what I learned that day and how I'm trying to apply it to my life and how you guys can apply it to yours. So your takeaway for today is to focus on the process and not so much on the outcome, and make sure that you have to find your why, have to find the impact that doing your process has. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, this video is specifically recommended for you, so if you found that interesting, then you can definitely click on it. You can subscribe in that corner, and if you subscribe, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!